Hello, Mr. Keller. How are you? This is my project based on the 22nd Amendment. The 22nd Amendment was enacted in 1951. The 22nd Amendment limits the amount of time a president can be elected into presidency. A president may only run for presidency twice if they've completed two full 4-year terms. Since 4 years is the amount of time for each term, a president may only complete 2 full ones. Meaning, if a president succeeded unfinished terms by the former president, meaning they completed 1 to 3 years, this rule won't apply to the new president, and they will have a chance to run for 2 full terms, meaning they can have the unfinished terms and another 2 full terms. The reasons for this amendment are that in 1944, Franklin Roosevelt had won his 4th term for presidency, meaning he broke the unwritten rule set at the time by George Washington. George Washington set this rule at the time because he felt that 2 4-year terms was enough for each presidency, meaning a new president can come in and you wouldn't have the same president for too long. It was enacted in 1951, right after his 4th term, meaning only 3 years after his final term as president. They realized they needed to get this amendment in so a president would never be in office for this long again. The Supreme Court case based on my amendment is U.S. Term Limits Incorporated versus Thornton. In 1994, Ray Thornton had tried to run for a 3rd term as Senate from Arkansas. Since Arkansas followed the 2-term maximum law, even for Senate, he could not. He argued it and had gone to the Supreme Court. The decision by the Supreme Court, he was denied 5-4. The Supreme Court had denied him because it would have been unconstitutional because it could have affected the next class of candidates and that the sole purpose was to create additional qualifications for himself. Meaning, he was only looking out for himself and not the future of the country. He was trying to better his own resume, which wasn't fair to the other people. The true and false that I got from my Second Amendment are true. George Washington set an unwritten rule of 2 presidency terms that Franklin D. Roosevelt did not follow since technically he didn't have to, and it was totally fair. False. Franklin D. Roosevelt ran for president 3 times. Answer. Franklin D. Roosevelt ran and won 4 terms. Franklin D. Roosevelt's decision to run 4 times is still, I believe, one of the best decisions because it allowed us to have a reason to enact this amendment, and this amendment is really important because it gives America a chance to choose a new leader every couple of years and not be stuck for the new one forever. The 22nd Amendment is an amendment that will better the country and is bettering the country. Thank you, Mr. Keller.